Hello students, welcome to Candy class. So in today's lecture, we are going to talk about the 4 important terms related to this chapter. That is line of sight, horizontal line, angle of elevation and the angle of depression. So let's get started. Have you ever been to Paris? What Paris is famous for? Of course, one of its cosmetics. But one of the 7 wonders also in Paris. Can you guess? That's right, the Eiffel Tower. Have you ever seen an Eiffel Tower? Maybe not. But you have obviously seen it somewhere, like movie, books or cartoons. Have you ever wondered what would be the height of it? Can we measure it with the ruler or scale? What about the width of this river? And what do you think about the height of this building? Can you measure it with the help of measuring tape? No, it's impossible. So such heights and distances can be found by applying trigonometry. Before applying the trigonometry, we need to learn few important terms related to this chapter, like line of sight, horizontal line, angle of elevation and the angle of depression. We need to learn and understand these terms. So first we talk about the line of sight. For this, we take an example here. Here is a Rohan, a boy who is observing the cow. And in this case, the observer is Rohan, the boy, and the object is cow. And the line between observer and object, the imaginary line, is known as the line of sight. Let's take few more examples. In this case, now he is observing the door of the tree house. In this case, observer is Rohan and the object is door of the tree house. And the imaginary line between the observer and the object is known as what? Is known as line of sight. Let's take another example. Now, Rohan observing these beautiful flowers. So, in this case, observer is Rohan and the object is flowers. And the imaginary line between these two is known as the line of sight. Now, Rohan wants that apple on the tree. Which apple? That one. And in this case, the observer is Rohan and the object will be what? Apple. And the imaginary line between the observer and object is known as what? Is known as line of sight. So you can see in all examples, the imaginary line between the observer's eye and the object is known as the line of sight. Is clear? Now, move on to the second term, that is angle of elevation. What is angle of elevation? For this, let me take another example. Now Rohan comes to the park and standing in front of a tree. So you can see a line here. So this line passes through the eye of the observer and is parallel to the ground. The line which is parallel to the ground is known as the horizontal line. Now, Rohan is observing the top of the tree. So, here in this case, the observer is Rohan and the object is top of the tree. And the line between these two objects and the observer is known as what? Is known as line of sight. But can you see that? Is there any angle between the line of sight and the horizontal line? Of course, yes, there is an angle, and this angle is known as the angle of elevation. But one thing we need to remember, that angle of elevation is formed when the object is above the horizontal line. You can see that the object, the top of the tree, is above the horizontal line. Let's move to the next terminology, that is angle of depression. In this case, you can see a house and at the terrace, the Rohan is standing. And this line is known as the horizontal line because it is parallel to the ground. And now he is looking and observing the flowers on the ground. And in this case, the observer is Rohan and the object is flowers. And the line between them, observer and the object, is known as what? Is known as line of sight. We already know. And the angle between the horizontal line and the line of sight. You can see that there is an angle between the horizontal line and the line of sight is known as angle of depression. This angle is known as angle of depression. And one thing we need to remember in this case, angle of depression is formed when the object is below the horizontal line. In this case, you can see the object, the flowers are below to the horizontal line. Now, let's revise all the four terms in one case. In this case, now Rohan is standing on the terrace and here is a horizontal line which is parallel to the ground. Now, he is looking upward. He is looking on the eagle, that bird. So, the observer is Rohan and the object is eagle. And the line between them is known as line of sight. And the angle between the line of sight and the horizontal line is known as what? Angle of elevation or angle of depression. In this case, we know that object is above the horizontal line. So, in this case, this angle is angle of elevation. Now Rohan is observing the flowers on the ground. So, in this case, observer is Rohan and object is flowers. And the line between them is known as line of sight, and the angle between the horizontal line and the line of sight is known as what? Is known as angle of depression, because in this case the object is below to the horizontal line. In this lecture, we understand the four important terminologies related to this chapter. Thank you.